Good morning. I hope you've had a great week, and I hope that you can join us for worship tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You know, this past week, Wilson County Schools canceled schools because of the lack of teachers and students because of this COVID virus again. When I heard that they had canceled school, Kitty and I made plans immediately to go to the beach. So Kitty and I and Rachel and Kathy took the grandchildren and we went to the beach. We are headed down to the beach as Hurricane Ida is headed towards the coast. Go figure how smart we are. But we got to Perdido Key, and when we were on Perdido Key, as Hurricane Ida came ashore in Louisiana, it amazed me because we had wind and we had rain, but it wasn't as intense as I thought it was going to be as the hurricane came on shore. But Sunday night, we got high winds and heavier rains Sunday night and Monday than we did as the hurricane came on. As the hurricane was leaving, the winds got higher. We had red flags on the beach for a couple of days, which is a warning that it's dangerous to go in. We took the kids down there one evening and they didn't like the beach at all because even though it was raining and the sand was wet, the wind was still strong enough to pick up the sand and almost sandblast you and sting you as you were on the beach walking. Well, eventually sunshine came out and we got in the water and we still had red flag up there and everything, and the surf was great. And as I ventured into the surf, I realized that the bottom had been scalloped, I'll call it, like a roller coaster from the wave action. You could be walking up something, you thought you were getting on a sandbar, and then all of a sudden you'd step off and it'd be 10, 18 inches deeper, and then right back up on another hump, and then back down. Well, grandchildren wanted to body surf, and Colt was really the only one that was brave enough to venture out there, and being a semi-responsible grandparent, I ventured out into the surf with him just to be close in case he had a problem. There was no riptide, and there was an undertow as the waves brought all that water on shore and went back out. And I was standing there trying to help Colt determine when to go for each wave to catch that wave to go in, and he caught some, rode them all the way to the beach. You know, it's a lot of fun, especially when you're a child. But I got knocked down by the waves 4 or 5 times. Wasn't expecting that. Big waves hit you and sometimes they knock you down. But I realized that what was really knocking me down was as the undertow came by and I was standing on that sand bottom, it just removed the sand from under my feet. The current going under where my feet went down caused current around my feet, and it just sucked the sand right out from under my feet. Then if I got hit by a big wave at the same time that the current was taking the sand out from under me, I went under by surprise. It was fun. I grew up in the surf and I love the surf, but it brought to mind a sermon that Jesus preached in chapter 7 of Matthew. Jesus is talking about wise and foolish builders. And he says, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house upon the rock. The rains came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears my words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down and the streams rose and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash. Then when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teachings because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. A firm foundation is necessary as we go through life because the waves of life can beat against us and knock us down if we don't have our foundation on the rock. Be safe. Stay well out there.